Let's jump right into our presentation. The concept is asking the mayor of your town or city to make an official proclamation declaring the month of February as Toastmasters Month in your community. So, most obvious one is when. Well, we said the entire month of February. You should also know that this is a District 21 initiative. Other districts around the world celebrate it at different times throughout the year, if they celebrate it at all. So, why should we do it? Well, it's a good opportunity to raise awareness of Toastmasters in your community and hopefully create some curiosity so the guests come to your clubs where you can then convert them to members. So let's look at some logistics. I would suggest contacting the town or city's administrative assistant to find out what their process is for asking for a mayoral, it's a hard word to pronounce, proclamation. It may be different from community to community. Some communities may not even do it. Find out how much lead time you need to have it prepared. You want to make sure that you have given everybody enough time to complete the task without creating undue pressure. Be clear as to what happens when it's complete. That is, will they send you a digital copy, a physical copy via the mail, or a physical copy that you need to pick up? If you have multiple Toastmaster clubs in your community, it would be helpful to have someone liaise with other clubs and develop a joint strategy. It could be the club's VP of Public Relations that takes the lead, but it doesn't have to be. Some communities have more than one area, so it might be worthwhile having the area directors take the lead in the initiative. Then there's photo ops. Some Toastmasters have had good luck with approaching their town or city council and arranging to have an official presentation of the declaration. This is where the mayor or their designate presents the document to a Toastmasters representative. This only takes a few moments to do. It could be an official session of the council or a staged one. Like anything else, it needs some preparation. Have somebody that is handy with a camera and then actually has a good camera, because you won't have the opportunity for a do-over. Consider videoing the presentation. Don't forget to ask permission to take photos or videos. You can't assume that they will let you. Some people have personal quirks about having their picture taken, or politicians are known for liking to get publicity wherever and whenever they can, so you should be okay. You are going to own the photo, so make sure you get the names and correct spellings of their names for everyone in the photo for passing it on to the media. Speaking of media, consider creating and publishing a media release to highlight the official proclamation and the presentation ceremony if you've had one. This could help gain some community attention. Smaller communities tend to have better luck at getting human interest stories published in the newspapers than the larger communities do. Send the media release to reporters that report about business, lifestyle, and/or self-development. You can send the entire proclamation to a reporter that you know, but odds are slim that they'll include it in an article. You're probably better off excerpting key sentences or phrases from the declaration in preparation of your media release. Your media release can look very similar to the proclamation, highlighting a local tie-in and why it's important. Now, if you're not up to asking your local mayor for a proclamation, or the time is working against you, here's an alternative plan. The district traditionally requests the province of BC to declare February as Toastmasters Month in BC. You could leverage and promote this initiative in lieu of having a declared Toastmasters Month in your community. Looking at marketing and promotion. With promoting anything, you have to think of what your desired end result is. In this case, we're promoting awareness of Toastmasters and our communication and leadership program in our communities. When marketing your product or service, it can be helpful to break it down to target markets. Keeping it simple, we can consider our internal and external markets. Our internal market is our fellow Toastmaster members, and our external market is the general public. Future members, if you will, bearing in mind that they need to be over the age of 18 and be able to pay for their membership. We'll look at them separately over the next couple slides. Starting off with internal, this involves marketing to your fellow club members. Declaring the month of February as Toastmasters Month can be a good rallying point for your VP of Education to plan meetings around. Meeting themes should create excitement about Toastmasters. Perhaps the VP of Education could issue a challenge to their club members to deliver a speech during the month about the history or culture of Toastmasters. External marketing takes a little more time and strategy. Some clubs have had good luck with conducting open houses, that is, opening their club to the general public, leveraging their publicity from the DTM month declaration. Let's start off by considering advertising. Many clubs have the budget to do some advertising with their local media. Many don't. Advertising is expensive and it can be hard to determine your return on investment. It's often said that 50% of marketing works. The problem is that it's hard to tell which 50% worked. Sometimes the clubs in a community or an area will pool their financial resources and purchase a print or radio ad. Let's look at publicity. Publicity is marketing initiatives that cost you little or no money. There is an investment of your time, though. It takes time to put together a publicity initiative that costs you nothing or very little. The photo op and media release that we talked about earlier are examples of publicity. Another easy to access publicity measure is to leverage social media. Every Toastmasters club should have a social media presence. Facebook and Twitter seem to be the more effective ones. Developing an effective Facebook strategy for your club is beyond the scope of this session, but I will give you a few quick tips here. 1. Develop a Facebook page rather than a Facebook group. Think page equals public, groups equals private. Second one, encourage all of your club members to like your club Facebook page. Third tip is to post relevant items to your club's timeline promoting your events during Toastmasters Month, as well as the declaration itself and any photo ops. Fourth one, encourage your fellow club members to share your club's Facebook posts on their pages. The fifth tip is research and locate other Facebook pages in your community that allow unrestricted posting. This can include networking groups, business groups, health and wellness, newcomers, and self-development. Sixth one is create a posting campaign. That is, create an eye-catching post that will draw the reader's attention. They need to be crafted with a call to action in mind that a CTA is to come out and visit your club. The campaign should be submitted spaced out with new information so that you don't wear out your welcome with the Facebook page's owners when you're posting to somebody else's Facebook page. It's also said that you need to touch your customers 7 to 11 times before they'll make a purchasing decision. The same applies to your Toastmasters marketing. The potential new member has to see Toastmasters concept multiple times before they make a decision to visit a club meeting. So how do we create the proclamation in the first place? Here's an example of a proclamation from the city of Vancouver from a few years ago. It's one of the more colorful ones that I've seen. Don't worry about trying to read the content. We'll go over every clause of the document so you can see what it looks like. Let's look at some of the proclamation details. As I mentioned earlier, you'll need to find out what your mayor's process is for creating the document. They usually include 4 to 6 whereases, if whereas is such a word. I'm going to go through each one of them and make some comments as to amendments that you may need to make when you create your own. Let's start off with the first one. So, whereas Toastmasters International, a non-profit educational organization, is a leader in making effective oral communications a national and international reality for all persons. So this is a general statement that sets up the rest of the document. And whereas the ability to speak clearly and effectively is a powerful and important skill that can help individuals overcome barriers to effective performance in virtually every endeavor and line of work. So note, in this case, note the addition of the and whereas. at the top of the slide there. And whereas the first Toastmasters Club outside the United States was chartered in 1935 in Victoria, British Columbia, and today, after more than 75 years, Toastmasters of British Columbia has grown to serve more than 4,500 members in 268 clubs. This clause would need to be updated because there's close to 300 clubs in BC, having District 21 and 96 combined. And as for the number of actual members, you can probably get an up-to-date number from our district leaders. I don't have that number right on me. As well as a sentence about after more than 75 years, you'd have to update that to, it's actually more than 90 years now. And whereas the Toastmasters program helps develop skills in speaking, listening, giving feedback, decision making, effective meeting management, delegating and mentoring, vital skills that promote self-actualization, enhance leadership potential, foster human understanding, and contribute to the betterment of humankind. This is another benefit clause that should be okay to use as it is. And whereas, by helping people develop essential communication and leadership skills, Toastmasters International and its member Toastmaster clubs perform a valuable service to its members in the community. This is another benefit statement that sums everything up, which takes us to the conclusion of the document. It's where the mayor signs. So this is an example. So now thereof, you have the mayor's name there, mayor of the city's name, do hereby proclaim the month of February, whatever year it is, as Toastmasters Month in the city of your chosen city. So this is another benefit statement that sums everything up. We'll have documents of this proclamation available, so you don't really have to panic about not being able to write things down so quickly. And this concludes the video portion of our presentation. Thanks for listening.